All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the brink of civil war. That's just what it comes down to. We're on the brink of civil war. What's happening right now is just absolutely unacceptable. We have people protesting again. This is the interesting part about all of this.
Mm.
The interesting part about everything that's going on right now. When I was working at the bar, the I've been in the hospitality business my entire life. I was blessed to have a stepfather that allowed me to work at a place that a pizza shop that he was eventually a manager of, and then eventually he owned his own pizza shop after years. And as a teenager, I was always in hospitality. And when you're in hospitality, it takes a certain kind of courage to face people, especially in a hostile environment like New York City. I've had objects thrown at me because people were dissatisfied. I've been I've had a group of these fucking idiots that try to rob us one day and try to. Me and my cousin used to be like, we used to deliver flyers and stuff. We didn't have any of this internet. And we'll deliver flyers and we'll go into certain dangerous fucking neighborhoods. And we would either be chased out in some cases, people stalked us in other cases, because we'll be in like those condominium tall high rises, which I hope it's not projects now, but Parkchester, projects or condominiums, however you want to say it. And then we used to go into the outer neighborhoods where we were cornered one day. And it took a lot of courage for us to go back out there. What they try to do is, I guess, extort us. The kids were like, yo, when we go to that pizza shop, you're going to give us a pie and we'll leave you alone. It was like, they never got what they wanted. I mean, once we just stayed out of that neighborhood from then on. In the Bronx, it's tribal in certain neighborhoods, so you can literally go around the corner when I was growing up, and there's a whole other crew over there. So as long as we stayed away from that block, we were safe. We didn't have much to worry about because people had our back where we were located. And it's a small, and not, I mean, New York City's a huge place, but that one zone where we were was a small little community of people who knew each other, like neighbors. Now everyone's like isolated, hiding in their apartments. But my point to saying that is it took a lot of courage to do what I was doing, delivering pizzas, delivering flyers, putting yourself in the front line. Now, and we didn't have cell phones or anything. If you got chased out of a neighborhood, that was it. There was no backup. There was no calling anyone. So, moving forward from there, now I found myself in a situation where my entire life, you had to have a lot of courage to go through what I've been through. I'm getting to the point. And me moving to different states by myself, no family, friends for sure. But it was scary, but you had to have the courage in order to do in order to be me, you had to have courage. That's not to say I'm the biggest badass ever. I've ran from situations, I've gotten my ass kicked. You know, I've been robbed. Uh, I started toughening up. Like besides the courage, right? Because you can have courage, like Captain America. Like he had a lot of courage in the first movie, and then he got tough because he got all the powers and stuff. And now he was a tough guy with courage. So I started building that. I started becoming tougher as soon as I started working the door as a bouncer. I fresh new blood, 19, 20 years old, not even big. I was like 180 pounds, maybe, 6'2". And it took a lot of courage to be on that front line. Although I wasn't the biggest and the baddest, the point is courage. and what you're willing to do and how far you're willing to go to protect people. Because that was my job, was to protect our clientele, and we did. I got my ass handed to me, and I handled, a lot of people as I had to do what I had to do. So now I see, I'm looking at all these protesters getting into these officers' faces, and it takes a lot of courage to be in their position. We'll just play it without the sound. It takes a lot of courage to be in these officers' position. Now, when you're on the opposite side, it doesn't take that much courage because they're depending. The problem with these people is that they are depending on paperwork to protect them, policies and laws. These people think they're brave and they have courage, but they honestly don't. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, once again, they are hiding behind policies and laws because when shit hits the fan, what you gonna do? You're not armed. You have whistles, right? There's a meme going out there saying they have guns, we have whistles. Okay, so if shit really starts popping off, who are you gonna go to? Where are you gonna hide? Where is this idiot gonna hide? Right? If shit starts popping off, who are y'all gonna depend on to protect you? Are you gonna protect yourselves? When I was working the bars, I mean, we're talking every single day of the week. I didn't take a vacation for nearly a fucking decade, let's say, just working the bars there every single day. It was addictive because then I got into a position of power, started managing, then started running it. Then I was a G. Like it's that position of power is addictive. And I just wanted to be there because I felt like if I wasn't there, shit will fall apart after a certain time, which is not true, obviously. It was still would have ran. Everything continues, life goes on. But I saw a lot of people like these popping shit, talking shit in the clubs because they knew security would come and save them. But then when security wasn't around and we were outside trying to deal with other situations, the same people that were, quote, brave, that had courage, suddenly poof, disappears because no one's around to save them. It's sort of like when you get in front of someone when they're arguing and then they start saying, hold me back, and they start getting louder. I mean, as cliche as that may sound, that's a real thing. Like people become more hype when they know someone's going to protect them. But in these situations, who's going to protect you guys when bullets start flying? You guys understand how close you are to, like, right now, all these people think they have courage and they're brave. But if shit starts popping off for real, because that's the only way you gain control. You don't gain control by talking. Not in these kind of situations. Control comes by force. By force. Because they're saying, for example, they're like, oh, he's a murderer. He should be arrested. Who's going to arrest? Are you going to arrest him? You're depending on law enforcement to arrest him. And then you're depending on a judge that's sitting behind law enforcement with badges and guns to make a decision to put him away. And then for him to go away, you need these guys right here to do so. So when shit goes down, what you gonna do? Now it's clipping. Let me lower this. So when shit goes down, what are you going to fucking do when the bullets start flying and fists start flying? You're gonna use your whistles? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if it was my choice, if shit does go down and it forces people like myself to activate and get real fucking active, I'm protecting these guys, bro. These guys are American. They're just like us. And these fucking idiot leftists and whoever else that's sympathizing with shit that's being done illegal, and that goes from Minnesota with the Somalis and all the illegal immigrants that are in this country. What you gonna do? Who are you gonna run to? Where are you gonna go? Who's gonna protect you? Not only is ICE over y'all bullshit, but the police are too. And the military, what do you think the military is going to do? You think the military is going to fight ICE? It's not going to happen. It's about to spin out of control. And I'm telling you, like, if people like me have to get active, bro, y'all in trouble. Because you guys want to, you want everything to be peaches and fucking rainbows. And that's just not what it is, man. These are fucking cowards right here. This is not courage. These are cowards. They know that they are protected by these people with badges and guns. That's why they do this shit. Because when revolutions really start and shit starts popping off, all you have is yourselves. And according to yourselves, you don't like guns. You don't want gun possession. You want whistles and your voice to be heard. But we're past that. We're past that. Let me show you what's happening in Iran so you guys get a better picture. Because you guys are asking for war. Like you could keep on with your picket signs and fucking uh your picket signs, your whistles, your everyone needs their own rights because if a man wants to be a woman wants to be a man. Like y'all could continue on with that bullshit. Because people like me, fucking over it, dude. No, no. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. There's 70 people already been killed in Iran, bro. 70 people have already been killed in Iran because of protest. That's called a dictator. That's called an out of control government. And these fucking morons are trying to compare it to us here in the United States because ICE is trying to get illegal immigrants out. Because I guarantee you, right? If everyone just stood down and allowed ICE to do their jobs, we wouldn't have any of these incidents. The only incidents that you'll hear about is when the illegals are trying to flee or trying to fight back. But right now, we have a bunch of brain dead Americans that are going against ICE, and I'm not understanding what the fuck are y'all doing? Because you're not just protesting, you're being a fucking nuisance. Let me show you how. I was watching some of these clips, like this right here, for example, right? I don't know what happened. Oh, I cut the sound, my bad.
Hey, watch how you spray that.
See, like right there, I will concede that that is unprofessional. But you guys are being such fucking agitators. Like you're being pains in the asses. Like how do you expect humans to react? You're acting just as worse as he is, but you're saying, "Oh, he's a professional. He should be held to a higher standard." But you guys are fucking just like a Labrador is not a natural it's not an animal that'll naturally just attack you. But I guarantee if you put that fucking dog in a corner and you keep beating it, it's gonna fucking bite you. And then what are you gonna say? Oh, that Labrador is dangerous. No, you fucking caused it to be dangerous. Take accountability for your actions as well. So look at this moron, right?
He's a German immigrant.
Look at this idiot right here. Look. And what do you expect? And then, the New York Post is trying to frame it like, you see, ICE just hit him for no reason, and then they started laughing. He literally threw himself in front of the vehicle. What are you guys asking for, honestly? You want the ICE officers to come out and start fucking blasting you guys? Like, what are you asking for? What are you going to say? They're not legally required to do that. It doesn't matter. You're fucking dead. What if that car hit you hard enough where your head hit the pavement and you're dead now? What are you gonna do? Cry about it? Do you understand what we're fucking sick of? You guys really want people like myself that's willing to get on the front line and fucking get active. I'm not understanding what the fuck you guys are asking for because it will get to that point. If I so happen to be in a situation where you guys are blocking officers in, obstructing my freedom, right now I can't go anywhere because you guys are being fucking knuckleheads. I'm gonna get out the car and I'm gonna protect ICE. And I know there's consequences behind that, but we're fucking over it. The patriotic Americans are fucking over it. This can't continue. There's a lot more here that I was looking at too. So let's see. Um, you got garbage like like this right here. Like listen to what these fucking people are saying. Like the shit is just crazy. And this
Hey
is what
guys,
these
welcome to the
protesters are
Lonely
protecting.
Man in Ohio. Let
These
me show you guys exactly.
protesters, let's say Liberal High Mind is awesome, but he just talks way too fucking much.
America will become a Muslim.
I just wanna fucking get to the point, and this dude gives a great introduction every time, but goddamn. All right, so you have atheists, right? People who don't believe in God, because if you're a Christian and you're protesting like that and acting like a fucking moron, you don't really believe in God. You're just like having a badge on your chest or your arm, acting like you're a fucking tough guy. So, and these are the people that they're defending. So they're defending people like this that's calling for Islam to take over the United States to become an Islamic state. And these protesters, including people that I know personally, are trying to protect us and defend us. I'm not understanding. Listen to what this guy has to say.
Islam. You hate Islam.
I hate Islam.
You're haters of Islam. Islam's coming to America.
Islam's coming to America?
Yes, it's coming.
Wait, is this going to be
One day, America will become a Muslim state, a Muslim country.
Really?
Tell Trump.
That's never going to happen.
Yes, it will
That is
happen.
never going to happen.
God is powerful.
It's never going to happen. Is that what you want?
God is powerful.
Is that what everybody here wants? You want to see a
That's
Muslim
what
country?
we are. Our goal is to make America Islam.
Really?
Islamic state.
Never going to happen.
Yes.
What do you think? There's not Americans right now that you don't think there's militias? Hundreds of thousands of patriotic Americans armed to the like armed, ready to fucking allow bullets to fly if they need to. We don't learn anything from history. What do you think is gonna happen? You can't talk your way out of this shit. Yeah, you're not gonna have a jury, a 12 person jury, and the 13th juror fucking make a decision to stop this. What do you think is gonna happen? Where do you think we're headed right now? That situation with ICE, where the ICE officer shot the lady, Mrs. Good, rest in peace. I think death is final. Like Tyrion Lannister said, life is full of opportunities and death is just so final. She's not gonna watch her kids grow up. And the kids are not gonna they're gonna grow up without their mom. But where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Look at this. Let's go to Osman real quick. Look at this idiot over here. Not
condemn
Osman.
Hamas. Isn't this always so weird when this happens? Because when you have all these people that are tweeting out the exact same thing, Hamas is a terrorist organization. We do not support terrorists, period. Hey, so marching through a predominantly Jewish neighborhood and leading with a chant saying, we support Hamas, is a disgusting and anti-Semitic thing to do. Pretty basic. And that's from AOC. Now, she was having a really, really bad time over this. So we're going to watch we're going to listen to it again. We support Hamas here. And then she.
And real quick before he continues, what's crazy about that again is that you have a lot of these people that are against God. They don't believe in God. Against it, against the thought of God. Or they think like God is everything, or some of them think they are God. And I'm only going off of what I hear them say. You can find all of this information out there, thousands and millions of videos, however you want to say it. But they're saying they support Hamas, meaning that they support Islam because they are Islamic. Which, look, man, you want to believe in God any way you want. That's fine. I mean, I like cookies, right? The cookies are delicious. Chocolate chip, macaroon, or sorry, macadamian, uh, Heath, oat. Like whatever. It is what it is. Praise God however you want to. Call him whatever you want. But you're saying that you support Hamas here. That's not real. These people are literally paid. I put a post out on Facebook. I forgot what the here, let's take a look real quick. No, I don't we'll do that another day. That's a whole other rabbit hole. But yeah, they pay you to go protest. It's crazy.
She did it for free. She's actually getting hate from everyone now. AOC, when it's time to defend Israel, hey, so shut the fuck up. The lady who voted to send missiles to Israel in the middle of a genocide wants to lecture us on appropriate behavior. How does it feel to be an imperialist running dog? Oh my God. Where do these people come from? Hassan in shambles. He did tweet about this, to be fair. As a lesser evil voter, I will once again repeat my harm reductionist credo. Hamas is 1,000 times better than a fascist, settler, colonial apartheid state. And the real harm happening here is that another illegal stolen land is taking place at another synagogue. I don't expect a U.S. politician to come out as pro.
Is like crashing out. I don't know what's wrong with the internet on my computer. I think I need to clean shit up, but it's just like lagging like a crazy motherfucker. This Mac is nearly, holy shit. It's a decade old. It is a 2017, so it's nearly a decade old, and it still runs great. It's just, I think it's Zoom. Zoom just sucks, dude. Zoom is fucking horrible. What a shitty fucking program. I guess it depends what Wi-Fi I'm using as well, but I just wanted you to hear them like, we support Hamas here. It's like, what are you talking? Like, these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And the reason why they don't know what they're talking about is because they're getting paid to just shout and scream. And no, what I've noticed about the left and the right, and both equally have their wrongs, right? Because no one's perfect. And if you think you're perfect, standing there on a picket line is an admission of your perfection, in my opinion. You're right, we're wrong. We're wrong, or we're right, you're wrong. And I say we're as in we, as in people that are just against this nonsense. Like, why do you hate your country so much? They talk about stolen land and all this shit. It's like, dude, we have to move on at some point. The paid protests. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you.
Are a law-abiding American company. We have no includes violence and vandalism.
Tactics. Now, we are talking about paid protesters and demonstrators with your company, but we're not talking, and I do want to make this distinction, about folks who are violent and confronting ICE officers screaming at them, correct?
Well, Josh, that's a very clear distinction to make. Crowds on Demand does not engage in any unlawful forms of protest. That obviously,
like, of course they don't, and you're not going to admit that. And no one, and I don't even think like he really wants people to be violent. But the point is that you're paying them to protest. If you took the money away, they would not protest. People are desperate right now in the United States of America. They're going to do anything for money. Anything for money. And a buddy of mine, we're going back and forth on Facebook. I don't hate him. I'm just trying to get a clear understanding because he mentioned something like, oh, Trump paid people to go on January 6th. Even if that was true, even if that were true, that he paid their bus fare or their hotels, etc., which I personally know about 3 people who went there. One of them got into a lot of trouble. I don't know him personally. I knew of him, and I don't think he got paid, to go over there. But even if they did, that's one day, one time. These guys invest a decade and more of just these protests to go out. They won't go and protest if you weren't paying them. The reason why the protests were just ginormous during COVID is because everyone was getting paid to protest. That's not hard. But if you really cared for a cause, you wouldn't have pre-made signs. You'll be making your own signs. There are some protests where people do make their own signs. But you guys are like mass producing all this bullshit and paying these people to be like a pain in the asses. Because although you're not telling them to be violent and paying them to like agitate to a point where something will become violent, it's all the same to me. It's all the same to me. You could easily be telling them just don't get caught.
Includes violence and vandalism, but that also includes blocking a road without a permit, right? That is an unlawful form of protest. We are a law-abiding American company. We have no interest in doing that. We live in a country.
No, you're a pain in the ass. Out of all the things, like the protests don't do anything. It just slows things down. That's all it does. It's still going to happen. It doesn't fucking matter. All you're doing is slowing the process down. It's like me climbing, my Mount Everest, and everything is going smooth, and then my buddy breaks his leg, and now I have to carry him up. It just slows everything down, and that's a poor analogy. I get it, but you're just slowing the process down because I'm still going up. Doesn't matter. You're not gonna stop ICE from doing their job. You guys believe in democracy, but now democracy is not in your favor, and now suddenly it's a dictatorship. That's not fair. You're not being realistic, and if anything, this dude is a fucking traitor. You're paying people to protest? What? Because you disagree with something, so now you're gonna pay people to go and agitate? I would take it more serious if it was voluntary. It's not voluntary. They're all getting paid. That's why they all look the same. They all look the same. It's crazy.
That celebrates First Amendment expression, that gives us the right to lawfully protest. There's absolutely no excuse or reason to protest unlawfully.
And you have been tracking all of this here, of course, as your company was created. Can you kind of break down how the use of maybe paid protesters and demonstrators has changed kind of over the last decade or so?
Well, it is troubling that there are some groups that appear to be using paid demonstrators to create chaos on the streets. Some evidence of that includes like the bricks that people have been distributing on the streets of Los Angeles, tactical gear, right? When you see people distributing mass tents that look all the same, it's obvious that there's money behind it, but that's not money behind lawful expression. That's money behind unlawful expression. So I've noticed that more and more groups are wading into that. Crowds on Demand, and I have sought it myself to be a part of the solution, not the problem. So I've been outspoken in the media saying, yes, we need protections for protesters, and we also need protections to make sure that that protests are lawful, right? There can be no law and order without justice. There can be no justice without law and order. And I feel that that very much applies when it comes to protests.
And there can't be law and order without a gun. Not in today's world. Again, you're not going to talk a crazy person to put their gun down. You're not going to talk a crazy person to stop driving their vehicle like a fucking maniac. So this is like a clear admission of paid protesters, and this is what I've been talking about. This is not real. It's not a real protest. It's fake. It's paid. These people don't care. They're just trying to get paid, bro. And then, you're always gonna have those crazy people, the fucking rotten apples in the tree, and unfortunately this tree has a lot of fucking rot in it. It's such a shame, dude. It's treason. You're a fucking traitor. If you're it's crazy, but I mean, I guess you could say the same thing for like the ICE agents, right? Because or law enforcement, like yeah, they're getting paid to do a job that it needs to be done. It's not tyranny to get people that are here illegally out of the country. That's not tyranny. That's law and order. If anything, what you guys are doing is tyranny. There was a vote. It was done. Now you guys are throwing temper tantrums. Although you laughed the entire time Joe Biden was in office, Obama was in office. I saw what you guys were doing, what you were saying. But again, the table's turning now. Everyone's throwing a temper tantrum. You're disrupting the country from moving forward. That's all you're doing. And then if a Democrat gets into office in 2028, all you're going to do is undo it. And then again, we're just going to keep going back and forth, back and forth. That's why civil war is about to break out, bro. There's just no other way. You're going to force these officers to get vigilant. And when that does happen, I'm telling you, the Patriots are not going to be on your side, bro. As you can already see. Y'all better knock it the fuck off. Seriously, y'all need to knock it the fuck off. You're not ready for this. Like you're not prepared. You're not prepared because you're getting paid to protest, and now people like myself are about to march along for free and stop you stupid fucks from what you're doing.